Hello there, Crypto Nation. Welcome to Dapp Central, your home for everything blockchain and crypto. My name is Fareed. As a part of today's video, I want to bring forth some interesting news pieces from the Cardano ecosystem. First things first, we've got the official Electric Capital report, which I believe actually released their very first report ever, touching on the developmental aspects of all blockchains or the entire blockchain and crypto space. So, touching on Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Aptos, Sui, all these blockchains that have developers on them, you name them, they were captured as a part of this report. And I wanted to just quickly touch on where Cardano falls in the ranks as a part of this first release. Moving over, we've got the AXO LSE, which is now back on. The team did have a few hiccups back during their initial launch. We saw the postponement of the mainnet launch all the way back to February 6th. And we only had about half of the AXO tokens given out into the community. So I want to highlight the brand new dates for the LSE and exactly what you can expect. Moving over, we've got Book.io with their official first ever Book.io con or conference taking place in Texas on April 20th of 2024. Now, after that, we've got a pretty interesting update coming in from NMKR, which is one of the most sought after platforms when it comes to minting NFTs on Cardano, in a partnership or integration of the Iagon protocol. So Iagon's a decentralized storage platform. And as you can imagine, when you're utilizing something like NMKR, you have to go and actually store those NFTs somewhere. And so Iagon will now be integrated or supported on their platform. Now we've got Vespr updates as well. Vespr is arguably the most used or utilized wallet on mobile, and they're now going to be shifting over to web browser. So we're going to see a race here. 2024 appears to be a year for Vespr. They've onboarded two additional developers, and I want to break down some other updates coming to that particular wallet. Last but definitely not least, I want to talk about Sundaeswap and a brand new user interface upgrade in a brief video of the actual team breaking those features down. As always, if it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, my goal is to provide you and the Cardano community with all of the latest news and highlights going on in this ever-changing ecosystem. If you'd like to support the channel, consider delegating with the official Dapp Central stake pool, which is stake pool ticker DAPP. As I've mentioned before, if you delegate to the pool now, all the way until epoch number 493, you'll be able to earn the Matera governance token, which is for an index protocol building on Cardano, in addition to your traditional ADA reward. So a double whammy if you are a supporter of the Dapp Central stake pool. All right, kicking things off with the first item on today's agenda. That's going to be the Electric Capital developer report. As you guys can see here, it is spanning from January all the way through December of 2023. Scrolling down, we've got the executive summary breaking down all of the goals and data points that were captured, followed by the methodology, as well as the fact that not all code pushes are created equal. Now, this report has about 30 different mentions of Cardano. Scrolling down to the very first one here, we've got which ecosystems drew in the most amount of newcomers in 2023. And again, this is with respect to developers. We've got Ethereum leading the way, and then we've got Cardano falling in towards this median area. And then if I just kind of scroll down to a few other mentions of Cardano, there are some interesting things to note here as well. So this particular piece here highlights the developers who share amongst multiple ecosystems. One thing to note here is that Cardano seems to be on an island here on its own, very similar to XRP, Hedera, Mina, and Urbit. And so again, as you guys can see here, a lot of the EVM or the ERC20 compatible networks, talking amongst themselves, sharing developers and resources. But this is one of the hurdles that we really have to push through, in my personal opinion, in the year of 2024. Charles did have a recent AMA, or a recent live stream, where he broke down some of his thoughts surrounding interoperability, especially with the upcoming launch of the partner chain model or the service chain model, in which we're going to see something like Midnight leading the way. So I'll go ahead and leave the link to the entire Electric Capital Development Report if you guys want to find out more about that. Again, it wasn't necessarily focused only on Cardano, but Cardano did have quite a few mentions. And if you want to see exactly where Cardano falls within the ranks, you can go ahead and check that out. Moving over, let's talk about AXO. So AXO had their LSE, I want to say kicked off on the 9th of January. And the initial mainnet date that was set by the team was on January 16th. Unfortunately, there were some issues, and so the team has basically postponed the mainnet launch all the way back to February 6th. And what we had initially heard was that the team was actually going to return about half of the AXO tokens that were not sold during the LSE back over into their treasury. The team has now actually made a change, re-announcing or announcing that the LSE will actually be back on, with the remaining portion of the AXO tokens that were not sold during that first LSE event now coming back up for sale. So it states here, as we gear up for our February 6th mainnet launch, we're turning the LSE algorithm back on to boost liquidity for the AXO/ADA pair. There's going to be 217,000 AXO tokens, which will be available, ensuring a dynamic and fluid trading experience. Now, the updated LSE will be going live on Tuesday. That's going to be January 23rd at 12 o'clock GMT. So if you guys did not get an opportunity to pick up any AXO tokens and you're interested in this particular project, providing a revolutionary trading platform on Cardano, make sure to go ahead and check in. I did want to quickly highlight the fact that the team did also release a fully dedicated postpartum article highlighting basically all of their findings and all of their updates that they'll be making in order to make sure that they have a smooth LSE version number 2, as well as a smooth launch on mainnet. So please make sure to go ahead and check out my prior Cardano scoops breaking down everything when it comes to AXO and their recent updates. Moving over, I want to chat about book.io. So if you guys are not familiar with Book, they're a book minting platform. I believe they're now integrated not only on Cardano, they're also integrated on Ethereum, and they're also integrated on Polygon or Matic. Now, we heard from Josh Stone, their CEO and founder, I want to say about 2 or 3 months back in the November timeline. And what he mentioned was that they were going to be teasing out and having their first ever book.io con. So without any further ado, I present to you guys book.io con 2024, which will be taking place on April 20th of 2024 in McKinney, Texas, USA. As you guys can see there, we are expecting to hear from Josh Stone himself, as well as key figures, which include Charles Hoskinson. So breaking down some of the features, right, or some of the benefits here, you get to hear from certain experts within the actual Cardano and book.io community. From the community standpoint, you get to connect with other members and OGs from their book club. You also get exclusive access to the book.io team, and attendees, will also be able to enjoy limited edition books, food, drinks, and even an exclusive after party. We'll jump into the actual price of the tickets here in just a moment. In terms of speakers, again, we've got Charles Hoskinson, Josh Stone, Benjamin Illian, Rio Koriev. We've got Margaret Harrison, and a few other recognizable faces here from the Cardano ecosystem. Most notably, we've got Travis Bailey, and I did see Patrick Tobler from NMKR here as well. So I believe that the team is still updating the actual attendees or the guest speakers, and I would assume that we're going to see more and more people, not just from the book and publishing industry showing up, but also from the Cardano ecosystem. Scrolling down, they break down the fact that this will be a 2-day event. So I believe on April 19th, which will be a Friday, they'll have an exclusive VIP dinner, followed by the actual event taking place on on April 20th. In terms of access, they have 3 separate passes. The first is going to be a virtual life pass, which is for the price of $199. They've got a general admission pass for $699, followed by their most exclusive ticket package, which is their VIP for about $1,500 US. So that'll provide you with all of the prior general admission and virtual access ticket benefits, as well as free and discounted merch, a VIP dinner, and happy hour access as well. So you guys can definitely go ahead and check this out. I'll leave the link to it down below. It's available at bookcon.book.io. Again, their first ever inaugural book conference taking place in McKinney, Texas. Moving over, let's talk a little bit more about NMKR. So if you guys are not aware, NMKR does provide, I believe, minting of over 40% of all the NFTs taking place right now on Cardano. Now, in addition to that, what they're now going to be doing is integrating with Iagon. So Iagon's a decentralized storage protocol, and I believe before this integration, all of their NFT data or all of their NFT images were stored via IPFS protocol. So it states here, Iagon support is now live. We've got an interesting tweet coming in from Patrick Tobler himself stating, from the NMKR side, we'll always will add a way to use both Iagon and IPFS in parallel, so that Iagon is basically an additional storage method or an additional storage layer and not the only one. So if you still want to use IPFS for storage of your on-chain assets, you can go ahead and utilize that. Or if you want to go ahead and utilize Iagon, or even both, you can go ahead and do that as well. It continues to read, in the end, our goal is always to provide you guys with options. Do you like IPFS? Cool. You can then use that. Or if you prefer Iagon, you can go ahead and use that as well. Now, one caveat it states here is that uploading to Iagon does take a little bit longer than to IPFS, partially because the network is brand new and there's a lot of optimization work that will need to happen, and partially because they're also using an API instead of utilizing their own hosted Iagon instance like they do with IPFS. So do keep that in mind, that there are some minor drawbacks with the adoption of Iagon right now, but I believe it's actually free to use if you want to go ahead and check that out on the pre-prod testnet. It states here in the future that the team might run their own Iagon node, therefore speeding up the entire process that it would take in order to upload or store your files via the Iagon protocol. If you want to go ahead and check this out, you can head over to studio.prepod.nmkr.io, create a brand new project, and then begin to select exactly where you want to store your files. That'll wrap it up there for that brief update surrounding NMKR. As always, if you guys do enjoy these brief and quick updates, then please make sure to smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions surrounding AXO, Book.io, NMKR, or any of the two other projects I'll be talking about as a part of today's video, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. Okay, we're going to talk about Vespr next. So Vespr is the most adopted wallet, and I would definitely say one of the cleanest wallets that I've personally used here when it comes to mobile on Cardano. Their one downside, or their one drawback, was the fact that they were only available on mobile, but that is going to change in the year of 2024. Before I jump into that big piece of news though, some things you can actually do with the wallet right now include swapping, staking. There's also an ADA on-ramp via Google and Apple Pay, as well as a credit or debit card. You can actually also browse different dApps via their Dapp browser. So if you want to go ahead and actually connect to JPEG, connect to LenFi, connect to, Indigo, you can go ahead and actually utilize that or those protocols directly from within the Vespr wallet. In addition, they do have NFT support, and they also provide drip rewards, and just a few other things to name just a few here as a part of today's video. Jumping over into this next portion here, it states that the team has already started off 2024 very strongly with the addition of 2 new developers, which is going to lead us into the next 2 updates. So what we can expect moving forward from Vespr will be a brand new password feature. I do have Vespr right now on my mobile device, and when you sign in, of course, it utilizes something like Face ID or a biometric fingerprint, depending on what kind of phone you have, whether it's an Apple device or an Android device. But as an additional layer of security, the team is going to be planning to add a password feature as well. So passwords are coming to Vespr. No official dates just yet, but this is definitely a long overdue update. Again, the more security features, the better. We're seeing an increase in terms of just security protocols here on Cardano. I'll just take a minute here, just quickly shout out 2 of them that I had on the channel. So one of them is going to be Cerberus. They provide risk ratings and wallet explorers on Cardano. They were actually the ones that came out with the Cardano report, highlighting how this particular company blew over $9 million between Cardano and Ethereum. So make sure to go ahead and check out Cerberus. I've also had Adam from Cardano Shield on the channel not too long ago as well. If you missed that particular video, please go ahead and check that out. That breaks down a brand new wallet API that'll allow for you to quickly identify when you're interacting with a potential phishing website, which is aiming to take all of your data illegally or without your consent, or whether you're interacting with a particular smart contract that may actually end up draining all of your assets within your wallet. So Adam breaks down, a lot of the key features and aspects and just the effort that it'll take to integrate this into all Cardano wallets. But I really love to see this here again from Vespr and just from the entire community overall, more and more protocols focusing on providing security, right, and reducing risk when interacting in the Cardano community. Now that will take us to the very last update here for Vespr, which is again probably the most anticipated, and that's the fact that the web browser extension is now going to be coming soon. So again, no official date, but I think that this particular update will give Nami a run for its money. It's going to give Lace a run for its money. Eternal, Yoroi, Typhon, you name it, they're going to definitely be a competitor when it comes to Vespr. Again, this team I think has executed very well on a very simple, sleek, and user-friendly interface, and I can definitely see them being one of the more adopted wallets if they're able to launch successfully here on a web browser. Now, with respect to what actual browsers will be supported, it has yet to be announced. There could be support for Chrome, Edge, or even the Brave browser, but I definitely think that Chrome, Brave, and potentially Safari may be the biggest ones where people are asking for support for a wallet just like this. So I wanted to highlight that there as well. The official web browser extension coming soon for Vespr. Let's jump into the very last piece here for today. I've got a nice little brief update surrounding Sundaeswap. So Sundaeswap actually has a few proposals out right now for the funding round number 11 Project Catalyst. I think one of them is dealing with margin trading and also dealing, I think, with perpetuals. But in anticipation, of those proposals, Pi Lanningham, I believe their CEO and founders, also released a V3 paper to an exclusive group of members within the Cardano community. So this isn't a public file just yet, but people are reviewing, what Sundaeswap has planned for V3. And so a lot of the commentary so far appears to be positive. Again, it's not publicly available, but as soon as it is, I'll make sure to break it down here on the channel. Now, with respect to that, the team continues to upgrade their existing V2 protocol. And I want to go ahead and quickly play a video of some of the UI features that the team has made in the last week. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and roll this clip here for you guys, and we'll close out today's video session.
I'm Andy, and I'm gonna showcase the new version of our portfolio page on Sundaeswap. So on the right side, you can see the old version of our portfolio page on Sundaeswap, and you can see that there's just a lot going on. And that's mainly because the amount of information that we're trying to show to the user on this page per tap is just overwhelming and not optimal, to say the least. So we decided to take a swing at the UI, and you can see the outcome on the left side of my screen. Right, so whenever you connect to a wallet, you will land on the wallet overview page where you can see your portfolio balance and also a chart with all the allocations of your balance. Down below, you will have the portfolio assets table and also your most recent transactions. So also, instead of having this horizontal navigation that we had on our old UI, we decided to take a vertical sidebar navigation, kind of like the one that we had on our old UI, right? So kind of like this one. Shout out to the ones that still remember this page, where you can navigate between your assets, the liquidity, your yield farming orders, and also the settings. So if I click on assets, right, this will show me the exact same information that we have on the right side of my screen, but in a more condensed and more user-friendly way. So if we navigate to liquidity, we will have the same UI that we had in our old version, but same here, just in a more compact and more user-friendly way. Same thing for the yield farming and also the orders. And one thing that is new, you will also have your user and profile settings here, right, where you can enable or disable the error reporting. You can enable the privacy mode, right? So if I navigate back, all the balances will be hidden. Let's disable that for now. And one thing that you can also do is, like, if you decide, or like if you need more space, you can collapse the sidebar, right? This will expand the view, but you can also expand the sidebar again. All right, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys like it, and feel free to leave us feedback on the new portfolio page and let us know what you think. And yeah, looking forward to it.
There you go. That's going to do it there for that update with Sundaeswap. As you guys can see there, the team continuing to listen to their community, updating their user interface. And again, we're expecting V3 to hopefully come sometime this year. So let me know what you guys think down below. Are you guys still utilizing a platform like Sundaeswap? I know that platforms, for example, like MinSwap have been getting a lot of adoption, especially with additional features such as governance, their Launchable platform, and most notably FLDT, or the Fluid Tokens team, raising quite a bit on that particular platform. Now, again, could this be the year where we have Sundaeswap making a comeback? I definitely think that is possible. A lot of this will have to deal with how friendly and simple the platform is. But then, of course, if they're able to get some of these proposals, which bring in a lot of new features, right, exclusively to their DEX, that could kind of bring them back up into the forefront or back into the limelight. So that will do it here for today's Cardano Scoop, breaking down all the updates going on here in Cardano. As a part of today's video, we talked about AXO, the recent Captial Electric development report. We also jumped into some news surrounding Book.io and their conference taking place on April 20th, as well as NMKR partnering up with Iagon, Vespr coming to web browsers, and Sundaeswap upgrading their user interface. As always, if you guys found any portion of today's video to be helpful, I would really appreciate you if you could smash that thumbs up. If it's your first time stopping by Dapp Central and you want more content like this, consider subscribing. And last but not least, if you have any questions surrounding anything that we've chatted about today, then make sure to go ahead and leave a comment down below. That said, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video.